Welcome back, Farron.
Thank you. Hi, Heather.
Hi, it's good to see you after you've been gone for the last week in Madrid.
It's nice to see you too. It's
Yeah,
nice to
I know we have a lot to catch up on. So, we both discussed prior to recording that this will be an in real time episode where we'll be sharing everything that we've been moving through in the past 2 weeks and how we are being called upon to push ourselves and expand ourselves and alchemize pretty much like all the good things that we want right now. I'm definitely in that mode. And I feel that you are too, especially since you just came home from an amazing experience that has to do with your weaving craft.
Yeah, it really was. And now that I'm back and like scaled out, I see how I've been really called to be preparing for this for quite some time now. But I was reached out to by this online platform. They're called Domestica. They're international, and they film like these professional courses from different artists that you can take online. So the only thing I can equate it to here is like a Skillshare, but those videos are made by the person doing it themselves and putting it up on that platform. And this is like the every course on this platform has these professional filmmakers and this whole crew that I got to work with to develop my course. And then I was flown to Madrid and we filmed it this past week. And
Just
it
to
went,
Madrid. So
what,
cool.
what,
Just to Madrid. So
it,
cool.
it was so, it felt like a new level being able to walk to work on the streets of Madrid and going to a different country by myself and figuring it all out by myself. And I ended up having 2 days off to myself. So it just felt like really good and really empowering. And now I see how I was really called to be using my throat chakra. Like for so long prior to that, I think starting this podcast was a big catalyst for it to start growing because this workshop was so. I started working on this workshop last March, was supposed to film in Mexico City in October. It didn't happen. Was supposed to film in New York City in January. And that ended up not happening like 2 weeks before I was supposed to go. So it ended up happening in Madrid, not too shabby, this past week. But I see now like how the timing was so perfect and how through this podcast I was able to work on my throat chakra even when we did the in real time, when I was using my voice when dating or telling that guy I was interested in him. And now I see all of these times where I was asked to grow energy in that space. So when it came to doing the workshop, I really my intention was to create something that was um, inspiring to other people to connect to their intuition and to create. And that was my goal. And when I was working with my crew there, they were so encouraging. They were so impressed with how well I spoke and how quick the takes were going. And that's something that I wouldn't have dreamed that I would have been really good at in the past. And it definitely called upon me using a new level of energy in my throat chakra. And I could really feel it. And I could feel all the energy I was using there. And it also I highly want to recommend anybody who is working on themselves or self-aware to any extent to go on a trip by yourself somewhere, because when I was there, I was able to spot my ego so easily because it wasn't being able to be hidden in the usual like monotony or mundane tasks that I'm doing, or maybe I don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
So every kind of ego belief that was popping up in my head, I was able to spot it very easily because of the context of me being somewhere I'm not used to. I was having so many new thoughts that when an old one would creep in, I'd be like, oh, I can see you now.
Can you give an example? Maybe just like one top of mind example.
I'm I mean, a huge theme, I can give a theme.
Okay.
Like I was starting to think of ex-boyfriends, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. And I realized that my theme was unlovable, and it hit in a totally new way. And the irony is, when I first started getting into self-hypnosis and started with To Be Magnetic, unlovable came up as one, but at the time it was just like, yeah, I know, but that word doesn't resonate on a deeper level, and off I went to whatever. And now it's come up again, but it's so apparent to me in ways that I have been rejecting myself through projecting that onto other people. Like I can see it so clearly now. And since I've been back, I've been releasing so much energy, and so many thoughts and emotions are coming up for unlovable, and I'm able to pluck them out, like, and keep loving them and releasing them. And it's calling upon a lot of energy for me. So I definitely am in like this growing state right now, but
Mhm.
it also has been able to I'm releasing so much of that stagnant energy, and it's making so much more room for new love energy that I've been feeling it with prayer and going on meditation walks like with Dr. Joe, or I've just started like going on walks where I just feel so grateful for everything, and just really filling that space up with this love energy. And before I left, I had an Akashic Records reading from you, and you told me that you saw the colors of a sunset, like really like scarlet, red, orange, but you were really like red and orange and red. You said red to me a lot. And it resonated now that I'm working on that chakra. You know, I was working on my throat chakra before and building energy there, enough to the point where I feel like I want to give so much more that I decided to start coaching again. And I'm going to be taking on coaching clients again because it just feels so aligned there, that now that I'm back, it released like this blockage that was happening in my root chakra, which you saw the color red coming for me. And now I know, like, along with doing this work of meditating and allowing and releasing this energy, I need to focus love into this center as well by I've been using rose quartz and hawthorn berry to open my heart. And it's a heart opening herb. And I started getting acupuncture, and
Mhm.
the way that has moved energy through this stagnant energy through my body. I'm so impressed with my acupuncturist, and I feel like so grateful to have found him because it has been a huge um, catalyst to moving that energy too on a whole different level. And so I've been dealing with it somatically and masculinely, and but yeah, also dealing with it in my body and moving the stagnant energy in my body, just trying to open that flow there. So you were very right on with your reading, you know, and that's it's so much of it is connecting now.
I'm so happy for you. Like you literally are glowing right now. You seem lighter even, like, I don't know, there I see a glow on you through the camera, and I think it's really beautiful. And I remember when we first met, you were telling me about this opportunity, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." And I've been with you through the stages of it almost happening and then like not happening and then almost happening, not happening. And I just love that everything has like all fallen into place for you. Like, and truly, like, it gives me the chills talking about it. Like you were right on time, and everything that you had done up until that point led you to right then and there, up until when you were filming. Just like you said, you were able to articulate and have quick takes. And I don't know, I'm so proud of you. Or I mean, that's me projecting me onto you, but you should be very proud of yourself, because there is what an accomplishment, you know, like what a beautiful like up level for you, like truly.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that wholeheartedly. And it is, and it feels like that. It feels like I do feel so much lighter, but I've been able to move so much energy, and I really have realized that um the ego is an opponent. It is an opponent, but it's not like a boxing match. It's like a chess game. Like
Mm-hmm.
you want to, you're not just trying to knock it out because it doesn't get knocked out. It is, as long as you exist, it exists. So it's really like helping discovering its moves and what move it's going to play next, and really studying it I found to be such a great way to combat it, because like I was saying, now I see it so much for so much more than I did before, on this whole different level, that I'm able to hold it and release that energy. And I've released so much of that energy, and I feel like I'm at the beginning of this process. I feel like there's quite a bit more to unearth here. So it's gonna be a minute like this, but it's happening like very, very quickly. But I think it's just because I did something so big, and now I'm integrating that.
I think that's what they call it, a breakthrough. It's like you have a breakthrough, and then it's processing, integrating, and then now taking action. And you're in that moment. And these things are always going to happen to us all the time. And that's kind of the beauty of living these human lives, and understanding and checking in with yourself. Or especially as it pertains to your ego. Um, I've gone through a lot of that in my life. And it always seems to, when I think I'm like in this lovely middle space, it always kind of pops up. But it's so great to be able to like have your ego ride like in shotgun next to you, you know, and you're like, hey, we can do this together. We're going to navigate through life. And you do need your ego to an extent, because you need confidence. You need to have like, that's why it's there. It's there to support you, but not to let it get inflated. I mean, there's so much more on the ego, but I'm so thrilled to hear you talk about this, and what an experience for you.
I love what you just said about it riding shotgun, because it's like that friend that you have that's too much, or like a bit too hypey, or a bit too wild.
Yeah.
Like you're like, yeah, I got you, you're good, but it's cool. I can handle this. I'm driving. Like you can chill out. And it's like that dynamic, but it's riding for you. So whatever fucked up thought or emotion it's making you feel, it is actually out of a place of love for survival and protection of you. So if you can look at it that way, like, thank you for telling me I'm not good enough right now because you want to keep me safe, but actually I am, and I got this. And you strengthen your
Relationship with the ego. Like,
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You create new neurological pathways that become stronger than the ego story that you've been telling yourself most of your life or however long. And it's just, I am living proof that it's just a matter of time. Keep plugging away at it.
I think the big thing too is the patience. Like you did exercise a lot of patience. And I think that's so key as we're moving through life. It's like when we hit those moments or those what we think are roadblocks, it's like, well, those were kind of set in place to kind of make you course correct a little bit, or like shimmy to the side and then we'll move around it, you know. And then when you look back, you're like, holy shit, that all happened for a reason, because every little thing, there was like meaning behind everything. If you really, you know, dig for it, you're like, wow, like you said, the podcast, being able to exercise your throat chakra, being able to speak clearly and confidently, and it helped you on this path.
Yeah. I
Cool.
will say it coincided with I was gonna say something else, but I forgot. But it coincided also with this physical ailment that I've been having. Like I've had chronic pain in my shoulder for a really long time. And I've been dealing with that with like a body worker and now with the acupuncturist. But I'm finding that now that I've been able to release I've been dealing with my root chakra and trying to open my heart chakra more and releasing a lot of this energy, I'm seeing improvements in my shoulder. Now,
Wow.
with the mobility of my shoulder and with the amount of pain, that is like so much less. And my body worker came over last night and he was able to move it a whole 180 degrees. It had to be like assisted. He had to help me, but I wasn't able to raise my shoulder all the way up before the way I am now. But
Gosh. Wow.
going back to like talking about everything is for a reason, in a moment, I knew that I'm having this shoulder pain because this is what is supposed to be happening. So I've been resisting my shoulder pain because I didn't want to feel pain, instead of focusing on the fact that I know so much more about my body and the body now because of this pain and because of going to these different kinds of healers. Like I know your small intestine is connected to, that goes up through your heart and is connected to the back of your shoulder. Like I know the degrees, like I have about 160 to 180 range, and I need to be all the way at the 180 range about my shoulder and different things to eat and stuff. So I know, I trust, and I will say, I if I could give one tip or whatever, I wish I started praying to whatever you believe in a long time ago, because it builds up like that gratitude and love in you. And I think that's a real turning point for me. And I just wish I was doing it longer.
That's beautiful.
But yeah, um it's showing on a physical side too. Oh, and I have faith that one day having this pain and overcoming this in my body will have a reason, and it's already had so much of a reason. Mm-hmm.
Seriously incredible. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. And that's just me.
Oh man.
I know you've been going through a huge alchemization and metamorphosis too, and it's wild that this is happening at parallel times for us both.
Yeah, it really is. Um, where do I begin? Yeah, I feel like for me, I was doing a little bit of self-reflection this morning, and being that it's summer solstice, and technically, I mean, we're almost at the half point of the year. Um, you know, everyone's like, this year has been going by so fast. This year's been going by so fast. And it totally has. But this month for me has felt like super elongated. Like, honestly, I feel like I'm in this moment of being able to stretch time And I've heard people talk about this, like quantum physics, like being able to like speed up or slow down time, speed up or slow down time. And right now I'm in this moment of like just time being able, I'm truly figuring out, or not figuring out, well, I'm truly in the process of like stretching time. I mean, that's really how I can say it. But for example, like, okay, it's the 21st today. I feel like I've been in the month of June for like 2 months. Like it feels like so many things have been happening, and I honestly don't feel rushed. I don't feel like I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Like that's always the thing. Like my MO is like, I'm busy, too much going on, this and that. But I feel like time is like exactly like where it needs to be. It feels so stretched, like I was saying, just elongated. And with that said, I've been very mindful of my time. I've noticed that my screen time was down like 19% from last week. And then it was like 14% the week before, but I still felt like I had been on social media a lot. So it's really interesting the way that time feels for me right now. And I feel like in a way I kind of did a quantum leap. Like I've heard my friend Ashley talk about this, like as you start working, as you start feeling like you're more in alignment, things start quantum leaping, like literally, like you like can bend time. And so meaning that like, if I look back to the 1st of June to where I was to where I'm now, it's like I leaped, like I like fast forwarded a couple of years in my life, literally, like it's like I bent time. And I feel like what kind of kicked it off was I decided to hire on a mentor, a coach to help me really get my business off the ground. It had been something that I had been kind of dragging my feet on and not feeling like I wanted to spend more money on this business, but I took the leap of faith and I went all in, and I'm now working in this program that supports women as they're building their business. And I started June 1st. That was my start date. And I had signed up May 15th. And I gave myself like, this is what's so interesting is that I signed up mid-May and I gave myself the June 1st date. And then that went by so fast. And I'm so glad that I gave myself the June 1st date, because literally those weeks like went by in a blink of an eye. And then now I'm here in June, and I'm starting to really put forth the energy and the time on my priority, on my business, because I don't always want to work in the career that I'm currently in. And I'm just hyper focused right now on the next chapter of my life. And then, so I have that kind of, happening in my orbit. And then you were also a big catalyst for it too, because we talked about the Akashic records, and I took the course on how to read the Akashic records over 2.5 years ago. I've had my records read 4 times now, and it's always just been a beautiful reading. And basically, for those who don't know what the Akashic records are, it's every living soul, be that a human, an animal, a building, it all has a life, it all has a soul. And so when you can tap into this energy, the frequency of your soul's library, so you can tap in at any time. And it's literally like going into a library, like checking out a book, opening up, and then reading that part of your life. You can learn about past lives. You can learn that all have to pertain with this lifetime. But basically, the Akashic records are just this divine guidance for your soul. And when I read them for myself, when I go into my records, it's very much in the now. Like it's very much divine guidance for today, or for like the next coming days, weeks, or so. So it's become a big part of my meditation. And so before you left for Madrid, you and I were recording an episode, and you had asked me about the records. And I was like, yeah, I think you asked me if I had given readings, or I explained I had given a reading to my friend Mona last year when she was staying with me from Finland. And you had asked me if I would give a reading, or if I had, and I was a little shy and a little hesitant. I was like, I don't know. Again, not feeling that confident, which is funny because this year my word is confidence. And here was this moment where I wasn't exercising like my word, my mantra for the year, my word. And you had asked if I would give you a reading, and I said, okay, I will. I don't know what's going to come up. But then I gave you that reading at my house, and it was wild. I mean, you told me I gave you the reading, and I felt that like, wow, I'm actually doing this, or I did this. And your feedback was very, very supportive, because you had mentioned that what I had channeled in for you was very similar to like another reading that you had, like when you did a trade with somebody with your Reiki and their psychic readings, what have you. So that gave me a lot of confidence. And, as you spoke to the color that had come through, color has always been something that I am so passionate about. And I've always known that color was going to be something that I will work with. And I've kind of known how, or had a bit of an inkling, but have not quite been able to put my finger on it. So it was very interesting that color came through so strong for you. Like you said, the reds, the oranges, the sunsets, basically was like all of that, and really focusing on the color red. Anyhow, so after that reading, that kind of got my wheels turning. And I kind of sat with myself in meditation. And for the next couple of days, I got this download, like, you need to be reading the records for people. Like you need to practice, because you can do this. And I think I recorded my session, because I tend to, when I access the records, it's very much a feeling. It's a feeling. I see color, and then I just start talking, and then it just comes through, and then the images start populating, into my mind. And that's kind of how I go about reading the records. And anyhow, I had joined this group on Facebook. It's a private group for women that are all spiritual minded. They read the records. They they've received readings as well. And so I got this download at work. Like, you should send a message on this group and ask if you can give readings to people to practice. Oh, and I will preface this other thing too. Since I'm a part of this Facebook group, it's called Guided, by my friend Ashley Heimalainen. She offers an Akashic Records masterclass. And again, this was like an ego moment where I was like, oh, I don't know if I need to like read all this stuff and rehash before I give readings to people, because I just wanted to just go and like just try, right? But something told me, like, watch this masterclass. And part of me was like, I don't know if you should, whatever. I don't have the time. Anyways, I ended up watching the masterclass. And in that, the one thing that I got from it was that she said to go into your records or ask your pendulum how many free readings, how many practice readings you should give before you start charging. And that was my like, aha, that's exactly why I'm here right now watching this video, this masterclass. So I opened my records. I was given the number 6. And then I asked my pendulum, and it was given 6. I asked the pendulum if your reading, Farron, counted as part of the 6, and it said yes. So I was like, yes. Okay, I'm like 1 down, 5 to go. Okay, so now we'll go back to the story where I left a message on the group, and then before I left the office, and then by the time I got home, 5 women had responded. And it kind of blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. So I messaged all the women, and then more women came through. Like, I think I had a total of like 13 women that asked. And so instead of going, oh, these are just the 5, I just said, I'm going to message like all of them. And then whoever gets back to me, that's what's going to happen. And literally, like, I booked 5 women 2 days later. And I didn't book any more because other women, it didn't fit into their schedule. And I'm like, oh my gosh, again, just following that divine guidance. So last week I gave 5 readings. This past Saturday was my 6th reading. And I call them soul stranger readings because these are women that I don't know anything about, like nothing. I gave them a full hour session, and it was really beautiful. It was really beautiful. Like, I kind of want to cry right now, but color came through for everybody. I even followed up with a color, like a special color reading afterwards. And then I sent everyone a recording, and then I thought it would be very nice to give them, like, you know, the color card reading in addition to the color. So it was like they have the channeled color, and then they have the color prescription, and I sent them with that. And yeah, now, and every woman was like, Heather, you're spot on. I think it's time to start charging. And I mean, I'm not supposed to talk about other people's readings, but there were a lot of things that came through that there's no, I would have known. No, I would have known. And though I'm really excited about it, I'm definitely taking this like middle ground on it also. Like, it's almost like I'm a very excitable person by nature. It's like I'm the first one to be like, oh my God, I love this. I love this. But for some reason, my reaction to all this has been very middle ground, very middle space. Like, I'm feeling very zen, you know, and it's so interesting because I'm going with this feeling. Normally my ego would be like, no, you can't do this. You know, you're not good enough, or who do you think you are? Or, you know, or I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. This is too much. Why did I sign up for this? But I'm just receiving all of this as it's coming. And it just feels like I'm stepping into myself, like truly. Like, it's been wild. I asked some of the women to write some testimonials, as I asked you, and they're kind of all coming back. And I just have so much gratitude for how things are working out. I don't think that if this would have been last year at this time, where I maybe thought I wanted to make more moves on my business, which I had kind of been in my ego a lot, like, oh, I should be further. I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. But like you, I'm realizing that it's all been divinely timed, and that everything has led me to this point. And I'm working on my website. I'm getting my scheduling done as quickly as possible, because I'm hoping to announce to everybody that hopefully in the next week or so that I will be offering Akashic record readings with color. So it's been huge for me. And when I look back to the beginning of June, I had no idea that any of this was even going to come about in the month of June. My focus was like, okay, you've signed on with this business mentor. You're just going to be focusing on this and trying to figure out the how and the why. And I think just kind of making that move and trusting that kind of then led me to us talking about, you know, to you and I talking about the records, and then you asking me, then feeling confident to do it. And then now I'm like, wow, I've read for 6 women. I never would have dreamed that I would have been able to have done that. I don't even know when I would have done that. I would have said, I don't have time to do it. But like I said, like, time has just really stretched for me. And already I'm like, I still have 9 days left in this month. Like, who knows what I'm going to do in the next 9 days? Like, it's been extremely wild and fun. And I just have so much gratitude for where I'm at right now.
Oh, Heather, I'm so pumped for you. And on the other side, as you watched me kind of go through this for the past year, I've watched you have excuses around this for the past year, but like knowing what you wanted, but not making a move. And then all of a sudden this girl makes one move and just burns the motherfucker to the ground. She's like, I'm making all the moves. Like, I'm just ready to take everything on, and getting all these like incremental texts from you of like, this just happened. Oh my God, this just happened. And watching you just light, I could feel your energy and how excited you were and how aligned you were. And I'm so happy for you too, because there clearly has been like a huge weight lifted off you. I see it, I feel it. It's so amazing. I'm just so happy for you, because I know this is just the beginning of things snowballing, because I know how powerful you are. And thank you so much for giving me a reading, but also for letting me know that I was like your inspiration to kind of set it off, because something that I value and that I like look to for myself and what's really important for me in building a new life for myself, since I've started on reconditioning myself to the person I actually am, is that I'm very focused on being inspiring to other people and connection with other people. And so that really, thank you so much for letting me know that, because that means like so much for me too. Like, it means a lot. And I'm just so excited to see what happens for us both. Frankly, we're like fucking out there. So I'm just so excited.
Like, thank you. Yeah, I mean, you were like, Heather, can you give me a reading? And I'm like, sure, I'll try it.
My throat chakra knew what it wanted and asked for it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I sincerely appreciate that. In a way, it was like, we talked, so we've come, I heard that term spiritual running buddy, and I've told you that. I'm like, you're my spiritual running buddy. So in a way, it's like you were like, keep up, like, come on, pace it. like, you know what I mean? You were just that, you gave me that extra little push, whether you knew it or not, to just test myself and try. I mean, there are other friends I probably could have given a reading to, but you were like, come on, let's do it. We'll do it we'll do it this Saturday. And I'm like, all right, we'll do it. Not that you were super pushy, but I agreed too. I mean, we both agreed, but you just gave me a little bit of like a push, a little bit of like that nudge, like just try it. And I'm so grateful to it, because I honestly, I couldn't even imagine that I would be here right now and be feeling this confident about an offering that I can help people with. And I feel too, like somebody in my reading, like afterwards, not during the reading, but she was like, oh, it makes sense that you're giving readings because you're a manifester. You're here to get things started. You're here to help people get started. And she's like, what a perfect way than through an Akashic record reading. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. Like, that means so much. So there's been a lot that has come through with, meeting these women and feeling into their energies, or just helping them. It's really given me just a greater sense of purpose to really serve people. Like, I know that is what I'm here to do, is to serve people.
100%. And I think this is why this is happening to us both as well. Like, that was the creator working through me. They had a message for you. They had a message in turn. You had a message for me. And that came from us really taking the time to lay the foundation to really get tapped into our intuition and keep trusting that and keep trusting that and keep trusting that, to the point where when it was time to take big leaps, to make big jumps, we had enough energy stored up within us to be like, okay, I can rise to that occasion, because the creator is going to keep inviting you there. You can't fuck up, you're not ready at one point, you're not ready, but the invitation will always be there. And that's why I think healers are also so powerful, because we need mirrors in this work. Like the creator has to work through those around us to deliver us these messages. And that's why I feel so passionate about people being in touch with their intuition and going with that and not having any outside judgment. So I think it's why I stray from saying anything absolutely. It's not like I don't have an opinion, but I know my opinion is mine through my lens and isn't necessarily the best for somebody else. So I think it's so important. Like, what brought me back to coaching was, I was like, oh, before, my throat chakra and my confidence and my love for myself was at a different place. And where it is now, I'm fully aware of my capability of being able to help somebody. Like, I have full trust and confidence in that. And I have full trust that the desire is there for a reason and things have been put in my path for a reason. And the same way I took the jump and just did this like huge workshop that was such a growing experience for me. And I was like, I'm going to notice when I have resistance in my body and not make that same decision that I've done before in the past. And like really notice that I've been put in so many, I guess, uncomfortable, just unfamiliar positions where I could see how my old self would resist something like that, to where instead of resisting, I was like, okay, I see that and I'm going to choose different and I'm going to accept this situation. And
I
I'm going
love
to
that.
let go.
I love that. I think just a touch too on like things that have happened in our lives that have brought us to where we are now, like even things with my family and dealing with things that I had dealt with my dad and my siblings. And it was something I wanted to add on to the story, was that I'm doing my certification for coaching as well. And as I've been learning about the different stages within the practice that I'm going to be soon certified in, as I'm doing it, like I'm now realizing, like, as I'm in it, the lessons that are appearing for me are all happening in tandem with like what I've literally like just learned. Like I will literally just like read a page in a book and then something is showing up for me. And so in a way, it's like the more that we continue to like be a study or keep learning or just going after things that feel in alignment to us, like instances are going to start showing up and you're going to be quickly able to identify the lesson in everything and the learning and how much you can take from every situation. And that too has even helped me, like, I'm kind of going a little tangent here, but it's all to like reel it back in. But I have also been certified in color aromatherapy, and I have been since 2019, and I really haven't done much with it. But as I've been going through, the readings and learning things about myself, I too had, at a moment where I'm like, I'm super qualified for this. And I, for so long, didn't trust in that I am capable of helping people. I am capable of coaching people. I am capable of giving people support that they need as they are now going on their journey. Cause I feel like I'm a little further up the rung, and so I can like help to help bring people up and help share what I do know. But like everything like truly has shown up like now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Yeah. I have to remember it and trust that like, I got this, I can do this. And it's super interesting. It's like watching a movie, like your like life, like a film about your life or something. And then you can like, it's also like fast forwarded back to this point where you're at. And I don't know what the ending is going to look like, but it's like, wow, this is all like all these frames have all led me to this point. And I just have so much gratitude for where I'm at right now.
I think it's why it's like ascension, because you literally scale up. That's what it feels like. And you can see the past in a different light than
Yeah.
you've seen it before.
And just more accepting. And like you said too, I mean, you're more able to spot like, oh, okay, I'm going to do things differently this time because this has been something that I've been comfortable with. Yeah, it's like, it just makes it easier to make the switch, make the quick adjustment.
Or the yes, or the heart adjustment. Like,
Yeah, that too.
even if I'm gonna be going through something for a while, like I still have the confidence to know in that moment I'm equipped to ride this out.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know this is what I'm feeling. But there has been fast-paced ones too, like because of this filming this workshop in Madrid and coming up against so many edges and being able to see where I was in resistance, along with really filling my new energy cup with energy of gratitude and love. When I came back, I was able to see so clearly the ways I felt unlovable, and that included with my mother. I
Mm.
I was pushing away my mother's love and telling God, no, I don't want love like this. I was resisting to the universe, to God giving me this love, and being, because of my own blockages in my own chakra that I was working through so deeply, in an instant. I was like, I felt a shift of so much gratitude and love for my mother, and understanding how I've been telling the universe for all of these years, like pushing away love. The universe, it's like, okay, you don't want love? Okay, no problem. Because I was like, no, the love I want has to look like this, or needs to be this other thing. And it was all my own distortions of just not receiving.
Yeah.
And even, I mean, I've been home for 5 days. Like,
Already? Wow, that's gone by fast.
right? It's Wednesday. Yeah, I got home
Oh my
Saturday.
gosh.
So
Are you jet
yeah,
lagged?
yeah.
Okay.
Usually coming home isn't as bad for me, but I didn't sleep very well at all when I was there. So I think that has been like my
Mm,
my demise on the way back.
yeah. Well, you look good. You don't look like you're unrested.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
went for a long walk today. It was so nice.
Ah, that's wonderful. No, I love that though, Farron. Like you are truly like receiving. You are receiving and you're seeing the blessing and the love, the energy that's coming from that. Like no matter what the event was. I mean, really, it's like accepting all of it.
Mhm. And you too.
Yeah,
By
I mean, I don't know if I
to, yeah, really sit in gratitude for these experiences, but know,
Mhm.
like, you were meant to have these experiences, and you're meant to feel like that, and keep that going, and you're feeding off that energy, and all energized and ready to take on more.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I'd mentioned it on a previous podcast, but when I had that realization about um not feeling worthy and like I had to be all in when doing something, like do you remember when I told you that story?
A
It
little.
happened in like May, but basically what had happened, kind of the events leading up even to June, was I had a coaching call with a woman that was going to be on my podcast. And in this meditation or in this session, she was like, something prompted her to ask me about, okay, so basically she was telling me, she's like, Heather, you have everything in play. You have everything like going, the website, the podcast, the this, the that. Like, what she couldn't quite understand what my block was. She's like, you have all the elements, you're talented, whatever. And then she asked me, Was there something to do with a coach or something in your youth that like happened? Was there something there? And immediately this thought came like bubbling up. And it was all about how when I played volleyball as a teenager, and because I wasn't able to show up for Sunday practices due to religious reasons, I wasn't able, I wasn't able to play on the A team, and I got moved to the B team. And I was told by the coach, well, you know, we start you on the team, and we have 4 other girls that don't get to start, and they show up for all the practices, but you don't. And so in a way, he was telling me that I have to be all in or else I can't be on the team. And that was a big moment for me, a big release of like, oh my gosh, that I think was the block for me not being able to feel like I could go all in into this business that I'm wanting to create for myself. Like that was this big, it was literally like I pulled like an old dead root out of the earth, out of my like out of my energetic being, that had been there for a long time. But I do feel like that it kind of protected me over the years. Like it did. It again, like everything happened for a reason. Everything needed to come out when it did. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I could have, when I look back, like I don't think I would be where I am, or I couldn't have done what I did this year. I couldn't have done that last year, and I couldn't have done that the year before. Like it wouldn't have worked out energetically with all the stuff that was going on in my life and with my family. So in a way, like I express so much gratitude for having that realization now. And, you know, for all of those instances that we think are like, they're more of what define us. They're more of what makes us stronger. They're more of what helps us, help shape who we are truly.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I think since I cleared that was a big one for me. That was a big breakthrough, and gave me the courage to feel like I can do this.
Mhm.
And I don't have to be all in right now as I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you know, as I'm
Those are,
straddling.
but you were able to see that ego story that was stopping you from even starting.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Huge ego.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And look where we're at right now. Let's see. I can't wait to see how the year ends out. But I
Yeah.
feel really good. Like I feel light. I don't feel stressed out. I've had lots of things going on, but I don't even use the word like, I'll just say I got a lot going on and it's all good stuff. Like I've been reframing like my speak too, because there's really no stress right now. And I'm yeah.
I can tell because you definitely were like, let me mention how busy I am several times, you know, like every other sentence was kind of, I'm so busy, I don't have time. Like it definitely was that spiral thinking. And I can, like I said, it's part of your lightness and your openness that is palpable through the energy that clearly you are at peace, you are definitely being more present, and you don't have some stigma of a timeline or expectations on yourself that are some story to make you feel less than or not good enough or like you shouldn't start or bother doing it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You powerfully transcended those, and that's amazing. You're so powerful. This is just the beginning.
Thank you. I feel the same way for you. So yeah, I'm gonna sit with this moment and see what the next thing will present itself, and I'll be ready for that as well. As will
Yeah.
you. I know that.
Yeah, I know that too. I feel like I am definitely more in the thick of something right now, and it's just that period. But yeah, definitely still feeling so thankful and excited.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, done for now. We'll see what happens over the next couple weeks.
For sure. I'm just so grateful for your friendship and grateful for this moment right now.
Mm, thank you, Heather. I'm so grateful for you. I mean, this moment wouldn't be happening without you initiating this. And it's been such an amazing journey having you who were steps ahead of me and having that friendship of somebody to turn to like that and also to hold space for me and allow me to really accept myself because I'm friends with somebody who I can be totally honest and open with, who is just accepting of it. And it's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Love you, girl.
I love you too. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.